Good morning, students. Students, we are doing the chapter Heat. In this chapter, we discussed various things like about heat, its effect, measurement, then thermometer, its structure and function, difference between clinical thermometer and lab thermometer. Then we started discussing about the transfer of heat. There are different methods of transfer of heat in which we did the transfer of heat in solids, that is by the method of conduction, and then in liquids and gases the method is convection. We discussed about convection and convection currents also. Today we will discuss about the global wind pattern. As we know that winds and storms are formed due to convection currents. So it is easy to realize that there would always be an uneven heating of the earth. That means the temperature is not uniform throughout the surface of the earth, it is uneven. It is this uneven heating that results in global wind pattern. The places near to the equator receive maximum heat energy from the sun. The air at these places gets heated up, rises, and thus leaves a low pressure area behind it. Once again, the places which are near to the equator, they receive maximum heat energy from the sun, and the air at these places gets heated up, becomes lighter, and then rises, and thus leaves a low pressure area behind it. The cooler air, mainly from places between 0 to 30-degree latitude and the equator, then moves in towards the equator. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster does the air move in. That means if there is low pressure, the air from the surrounding areas rushes to fill the vacated place. These winds, that is moving air, blow from north and south towards the equator. That means the winds from north and south, they move from north and south to equator. At the poles, the air is colder than at latitudes that is about 60 degree. Hence the wind currents here are set up from the poles towards the warmer latitudes. Once again, at the poles the air is colder. It is colder than the air at latitudes of about 60 degree. Hence the wind currents here are set up from the poles towards the warmer latitude, and due to these, that means convection current, there is a global wind pattern in which the air at poles are colder than the air at latitudes of about 60 degree, and hence the wind currents here are set up from the poles towards the warmer latitude. Now the next thing that we have to discuss is land and sea breezes. Water gets heated up slowly than land during daytime. Hence, the air above the land gets heated up more quickly and rises up. Once again, try to understand it. Water gets heated up slowly than land during daytime. Hence, the air above the land gets heated up more quickly and rises up. Cooler air from the above the sea, because the water gets heated up slowly, so the cooler air from above the sea then rushes in to take the place. We call this movement of air as sea breeze. Once again, water gets heated up slowly than land during daytime. Hence, the air above the land gets heated up more quickly and rises up. Then the cooler air from the above the sea then rushes in to take its place, and we call this movement of air as sea breeze. During night, water cools more slowly than land, and the air above the water therefore becomes warmer and rises up. Its place is taken up by the cool air above the land, and this movement of air is called as land breeze. That means during night, water cools more slowly than land, and the air above the water therefore becomes warmer and rises up. Its place is taken up by the cool air above the land, and the movement of air that is from land towards sea is known as land breeze, and the movement of air uh, from from sea towards land is known as sea breeze. These land and sea breezes help in maintaining the temperature of air at a more or less uniform value through the day and the night. We therefore have an equitable climate on places near the sea. The wind speed, wind direction, temperature, and humidity of a place all contribute to the development of the atmospheric convection currents into storms and cyclones. The strong wind sometimes form a cloud and grows into a thunderstorm having speed of 80 to 150 km per hour. Cyclone is a huge storm having strong spiraling winds going inwards and upwards at a speed of around 150 km per hour over warm ocean regions. Cyclones rotate in anti-clockwise or clockwise directions. In the pressure determines the intensity of the cyclone and the strength of the winds. As you know that the difference between the pressure causes the wind and storm, and higher the difference, that means the speed of the wind will be more. Once a mature cyclone forms, it can last up to a week depending upon the atmospheric and oceanic conditions. When cyclones come onto the land, the accompanying heavy rain, strong winds, and large waves can damage buildings, trees, and cars, and that is also due to convection currents. One more information is there, that is in summer, at places near the equator, the land warms up faster. Hence, most of the time, the land temperature is higher than that of water in the oceans. The air over the land gets heated up and rises. This causes the wind to flow from the oceans towards the land. These winds carry water and bring rain, and we call these winds as monsoon winds. Students, that is for that is from the convection. These all things are related to convection and convection currents. Now the next mode of transfer of heat is radiation, and that we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.